I wish it would just say, like for a selection, like, yeah, it's appropriate for children. I don't I don't like saying that my stream's for children, if you know what I mean. It's a little strange. Um, so coming kind of back out of the blue again, I just happen to have a bit of space open up in my house to kind of get the production going again. And I've been busy with a lot of things over the last couple of years. I did think it was neat though. I was going through my old videos while I was trying to get things back rolling. And if you go back 3 years ago, I actually made a video saying 2025 is going to be big for Pokemon, which is funny because my prediction was pretty much 100% spot on. Uh, that's the title of the video. 2025 is big for Pokemon or great for Pokemon. If you go down 3 years in my videos, you'll find it. I do mostly see a video of me grading. I used to do a lot of talking while I graded. And again, this channel Multrace Originals is mostly analytical. I'm actually thinking about changing the name of the channel. The original name was just a joke that I've been running when I first started Pokemon back in 99. But like the first legendary, those who do care, I think a lot of people did enjoy some of the analytics because the analytics were really great predictions. 2025 being a very spot on prediction. I mean, if you go back to that video, five, why 2020 cool for me, getting that analytical like speech pretty much to a T, 100% correct. And so if you're interested and you're watching, here's my next ton of analyticals on the situation. So going forward, I've seen some other Pokemon YouTubers talk about Q4 being a really great time to sell. I do agree with that. I would preface by trying to sell a little bit before Q4 if you're planning on liquidating anything. Reason is, again, a lot of people are planning to liquidate Q4. They may reach peak or they may be too late on peak. Peak sale price. So when things flood the market, it people trying to liquidate, it lowers the price of those sets or in one specific card depending on how that's going. So I've got the Shadowless Venusaur in front of you. It's not really a great shape Shadowless Venusaur. Again, the decision is to don't grade kind of comes down to if you can kind of understand what you're going to get as a grade. So this Venusaur, for example, I wouldn't recommend grading. And what I'm getting at in regards to my next analytical point, if you're trying to move forward, trying to build up some value in Pokemon, you should be trying to get rid of your ungradables. So if you're trying to get liquidation now, the reason why you want to liquidate now and going forward, again, we're walking into Q4, you're either already at peak or peak is coming up. It's a great time to be on the selling end. And so you have to always consider how long it takes to grade something. So for example, if it were me and I got this Venusaur graded, I might break even on the price. I could sell it raw for maybe 200, 300 bucks, or I could get it graded and it'd come back a grade, probably a 6, honestly, with this Venusaur, and I might get $200, $300. But you have to account the shipping fee, the grading fee, and then the most important part, the time involved with that. Grading, depending on which service you do, it takes a horrendous amount of time in grading. I don't think grading gets enough of a wrap. And that's a whole nother video, but essentially it's basically $18 at the cheapest, just the grading fee for any card. No matter what, in my opinion, if you get a card that's graded, the minimum value of the card should be no less than $18. I always think it's wild when some cards come back at PSA 6, and in the PSA 6, they're $4. But that leads into my going forward. If it were me and I was already liquidated, I'm currently trying to liquidate some stuff. It's taking time. But if I were liquidated right now, moving forward, I would try and hunt down raws if they're in good enough shape, and like if they're going grade at 8 or higher, maybe even some 7s and higher if we're talking holographic first editions. But I'm talking even things like Nidoran or Victory Bell or any of those that are just, or like an Ekans or an Arbok. Arbok only came hollow in certain sets, but even non-hollow first edition Arboks, things like that, I'd be hunting those down going forward. If they're going to get, I'd be hunting down non-hollow first editions that I think would rate a 9 or higher, maybe even risk it on the 8 or higher. I would get shadowless if I could that are in good condition, or if the price is just cheap enough raw. Those are all your risky moving up gambles. Your guaranteed you want to be going for is you want to be going for the already graded PSA 10 cards. And talking about buying the $1,000 PSA 10 cards. I'm talking about from any set, any card PSA 10'd already. Some cards are selling at PSA 10s for $40 and they're a holographic or a hyper rare. That is what I would be doing in this situation right now if you're more liquid than anything and you're wanting to go forward with Pokemon and you're looking at it as a long-term asset, or long-term, even just talking about a year from now. And then of course sealed, but sealed is iffy because there's just so many scams out there. Sure, people can fake slabs, but it's a lot of work to fake a slab for a $40 card or less. So I don't see that being a big issue. It's when you get into your higher cards, you'd really need to have some sort of scam checks in between. There's some YouTube. I think I did a video on it a long time ago. I think Motomon's got some videos on it if he still goes by Motomon. It's been a while. I haven't checked his channel out. Again, I've been kind of gone and in the abyss for a long time. Shout out to Motomon, or Dave, whatever he goes by nowadays. But yeah, those are the things I'd be hunting down. I'd be hunting down shadowless raw. I wouldn't be hunting down graded shadowless unless you've just got a buddy who wants to liquidate and they give you like the 70% TCG value. That's totally different. I'd almost always take that. I think we're going to see a big push for every first edition card. I can't say we're going to see a major push for shadowless by itself. I don't think shadowless has fully run its course. I think shadowless will continue to have its rise. But I don't think it's going to be as drastic. I think shadowless is going to basically move at the same speed as just standard unshadowless unlimited cards. There'll still be a price difference, but the rate to which it moves won't be the same. Your first editions, they're still going to move like rocket ships. The reason why you don't see it move like you do other cards is all based on volume and pricing if you're using any sort of app, because there has to be sale for the app's data to move. That's one of the biggest things I get is some people hit me up for a card I have on my Facebook Marketplace and they're like, the card's only $20, but then I'll just go to eBay confirm sales, and last confirmed sale may have been 3 months ago, and then there might be one in between to the day of when I pull it up, but because there's such long time gaps, the price doesn't move as much. So there's only one card being sold every 3 months on eBay, and the price difference most recent sold was $80, and those apps use averages from volume. So if originally the card was selling for $20 and there's been 1,000 sales in the past 5 years at $20, that's what the app will show. But if the most recent sale shows $80 confirmed sale, I typically say, hey, if you want, we can wait and see what the next few confirmed sales on eBay show and go from there. But right now, I'm not going to take my risk on it and lose basically this volume gap of $60 just because the app might be slow. So keep that in consideration. What I really like about Pokemon cards, one, I enjoy them. I think they're great pieces of art, which is a whole nother video I want to get into. Someone just hit me up in a very peculiar way in regards to purchasing cards, which I think will make a great somewhat video thought point going forward. But yeah, I would get shadowless. So for, again, all my high risk, high rewards, or I'd say really medium risk, high rewards, I would get shadowless raw. I would get first editions raws. Again, that's first editions of any cards if I could, as long as the price is right. If I can get first edition of non-hollows or first edition Farfetch'd or just anything like that, I, first edition Electrodes, Electabuzz, anything, I would be getting that right now if you need it for the right price. I would not get any of those graded. I would not buy any of those graded. I would be buying those to go forward, getting those graded. The long haul you're looking at possibly is one, of course, the grading wait time, which will probably be 3 months based on reception at PSA. And then you'd probably break even, maybe make a little money if you tried to sell right when it got back to you. But to see probably a good 50-ish% gain, I would say you'd have to wait probably 1 year, maybe even two. 50% is pretty good gain. And again, this is just kind of an average flat across the board. You can see greater gains if you focus on certain cards and you pull out right, you know. Again, if you're going to get sealed, try and get it from the store. Don't buy it from individuals or just buy it from card shops. And even then, card shops sometimes have kind of been iffy. And then you sell it to somebody else and they open it in front of you. That's what I typically do. I buy sealed. If I don't buy it from the store and I buy it from somebody else, I'm typically opening it right there in front of that person. And if it comes out to where it doesn't have the patch it's supposed to have, we have a problem. Well, specifically, that person has a problem because I'm getting my money back right then and there. And then they have a box of bleh, whether it was intentional on their part or not. I'm not taking that. So yeah, I always recommend, of course, holding sealed. Sealed has never failed, no matter what sealed it was. The only downside to sealed is the cellophane, the wrap, whatever you want to call it. It can tear over time easily. So store it properly. And, and I like opening stuff. I'm not just a full-on collector reseller, right? I do like opening stuff. Quite a few things in this channel. So if you're going to be like me, always buy two of something. So one to open, one to keep, or buy multiple and always have one to open just for fun. Plus, you never know if you might actually be on the winning side of that, although the odds are not in your favor that you will, but you never know. And buy already graded PSA 10s because you're talking about probably $20 in total of fees and shipping. And then you're getting that card already graded in a 10, and for 40, 50 bucks, you really can. So that would be my focus going forward. Because graded cards, 10s, they take up less space than sealed product. And the biggest thing about 10s is the population count usually does not move. I've done videos on this in the past. What do I mean by that? I have seen, especially in the 2020s, when everyone had that COVID bonanza, people were buying cards that had already been graded, maybe as a 6, 7, 8, or 5, or 9. Then they were buying them, cracking them open, and resending them in, hoping to move the grade. Sometimes it did move up. Sometimes it regraded the same. Sometimes it went down. The way card graders do their reports does not remove a card from the report. So if there's already been 100 PSA 8s of that card, and you bought a PSA 8 card, and you had it regraded, and it came back an 8, the PSA report is going to show 101, even though it should still be only 100, because it's the same card. So there's really only 100 of it as an 8. But what we had in 2020 was so many people were doing that at once. Card populations were going nuts. The one card grade you don't regrade is a 10, because why would you? Some people did because they went between graders to try and get higher grades via like the BGS Black Label, and then they went back down, to get the PSA 10 because they got a BGS 9.5 and a PSA 10's more, and they already had a PSA 10 that card, so they moved it back. But the PSA 10 pop count definitely moves a lot less than all the other pop counts. That's why I say buy PSA 10s, because the pop count isn't going to change for that. Safe, but it still happens. I think everything between a 9 and a 1 needs to have a repop count, however PSA wants to do that, or any card grader wants to do that, because I don't think the pop counts for cards reflect the current populations of those cards. I think there's a lot of pop counts that are extremely inaccurate nowadays. Just think about how long a card has been in existence. Charizard. Think about how many PSA 5s there have been from 1997 till now, and that have been graded in between, and how many of those cards have been lost or stolen or destroyed or burnt in a fire or destroyed in a flood or crushed under someone's shelf, or a kid lost it or a dog chewed it up, and how many cards have been regraded in between. The pop counts are not accurate. They're a good minimum standard, but I don't think they should be the standard 100% for cards below 10s, because they're just not accurate. Um, and that's pretty much it for this video. Again, most of my videos are usually 15-20 minutes long. It's just all about analytics. I don't do a lot of showy stuff, but if you're looking to go forward, again, I have been very accurate with my analytics in the past. To my point, I predicted 3 years ago that this year, 2025, will be pretty massive for Pokemon, and so far I've been pretty correct. My collection has pretty much gone up in the last year. It's gone up like 12 grand. I'm saying that because I've got collector app. I don't have the pro performance mode, but my 6-month tracker shows I'm up about 7 to 8 grand for the last 6 months. So it's pretty safe to say for the last 12, I'm up about for the last 12 months, and so about 1 grand per month on my collection. Um, if you really are looking for analytics and things to go forward in terms of how to make money with Pokemon, and or just increasing the value of your collection to increase the value of your collection, these are what my videos are usually about. Some other hot takes on things. I have been kind of out of it again, though. I haven't really been keeping track of any main YouTubers or whatever. I see some tidbits, some people who were doing TikToks and things. What's Not Scandals. I saw the Moonbreon What Not Scandal. That was kind of hilarious in a way in terms of how that person tried to go about it. Very terrible for that community, and of course the person who was actually the winner of that Moonbreon but was scammed out of it. But I'm always interested to hear more from you guys. I am getting giveaways ready. I would like to see, of course, more subscribers if I can. That would be huge for me and for all my people who watch my channel or follow my channel. Because I don't do great giveaways. I think I do decent giveaways for someone who doesn't make any money via YouTube. Because I pay for the shipping for the most part, unless it's a fairly large item in the past. But I pay for all the shipping and stuff. And of course, I give the card away or whatever the item might be for free just by comments and selecting. To the point where I'm paid for YouTube, to the point to where doing much larger giveaways, to where maybe like I'm giving away a Shadowless Venusaur. But I guess it's all just a proper pace, I guess. But I'd like to really make stuff that you guys like, but I also like to do stuff that I'm good at. And for me, it's the analytics of everything. If you have certain sets, maybe that's what we'll do. If you have certain sets or you want certain predictions on certain word, I can do analytics for that pretty easily, in my opinion. Sets I'm not familiar with, I can usually pull up a market, get a feel for something really quick, and I can usually pull you up a good kind of going forward prediction and data pull. The only wild card to all of it ever is the main YouTubers who have the ability to influence the cards willy-nilly based on what they say. So I've made videos in the past before too, but just to recap, YouTubers, big ones, will intentionally buy a whole bunch of cards they say they don't like. They'll publish they don't like it. They won't tell you that they've bought a whole bunch of that card. They'll control the population of that card, essentially. And then when they have a main majority after about a year, they'll make another video a year later saying, you know what, this card's really grown on me, and I'm really all about it. They still don't tell you that they own a large population of the card, but they bought that card for maybe $2 a pop. As an individual sealed maybe promo card. They bought maybe 300 to 1,000 of it, and then after they make that video, they kind of release a couple, and they kind of let the year kind of unwrap, and then they go from cards they bought $1 to $2 a piece, then they sell them at $5, maybe even $20 a piece, or maybe things get out of control, they sell them at $100 a piece. So those are wild cards, and they can control a whole set by what they say. It can get kind of wild, but just in general analysis, I do think I'm pretty good at that. I was right about another one too. It hasn't moved as fast as I said it would, but I do think it was still a great analysis, and it's one that I'm willing to share just willy-nilly for free because I've got maybe 5 viewers. I heavy on believing buying Steam Siege break cards, the hits, like the Ninetales, the Nidoking, Lugia, whatever else is you want to consider a hit break card. I really think buying 8, 9, or 10, the higher the better, of course. Those are cards to swing for. If you can buy those, because I don't know what they're still going for raw. I know it's not super high. I know it's never been super high raw. But some people I have seen in the past, this was even back in 2020, had full binders of these break set cards, Steam Siege break sets. And I would see binders, full binders, like 10-page binders, 9 cards each page, 90 card binders going for like $100, essentially $1 a card, $1.10 a card, $1.11 a card. Even if all those cards came back 8s and you broke even on the PSA value and the 8s across the board for all those cards were like each card now became worth $15, just back then 2020 grading fees if you did bulk was like $13 and you paid $1 per card. You pretty much broke even. But if you're willing, all those cards in 8s are now like $25, $26, depending on which one it was. You got Ninetales, Nidoking, Lugia. I can't think of all the cards that come in the break set at the moment, but I know Lugia is a pretty big one. And some people were just selling binderfuls of Lugia break cards because they like no one likes Steam Siege break. That is the thing to do. Hunt down the cards that people don't like, that still have a rarity to them, and you can still get an 8 or higher. And if you, number one other thing, I think I need to do every video when I start, instead of hey guys, is don't overspend. That needs to be the number one rule, because that's what led to 2025 being what it is people were overspending back in 2020s to 2023s, and it led to 2025 being this massive rebuild up in hype and people who now have a control of population of the cards. So do not overspend in this ever. It's just it's a pretty good asset to have in terms of growth of money. It's been a pretty good portfolio pusher. It's moved for me S&P 500 percentage wise. Do not overspend, because then you'll have to liquidate at a loss. Okay, I'm gonna do the clap closer to the mic. Do not overspend, because then you'll have to liquidate. To be honest, that's what you want to be, the person finding those people. That's what I kind of try and do sometimes, not totally predatorily, but some people will just openly post that. I need to liquidate, I need the money, and right from the start. Hopefully they're not some people who double the market price because they need the money. You know, I'm fine with it if they at least sell at market price. Typically, if they need the money, they tend to automatically already have it listed at 70% market value. That's your opportunity to jump in. Other people are going to offer them a lot lower. If you're fine with 70%, which 70% is pretty great, you know, you're not doing them a disservice. That's their asking price. Sometimes they are already expecting lower. You're not doing them a disservice. They need the money. You want the product. It's going to work out. You're not hurting anybody in that process. But yeah, sometimes it's a little weird. Debt negotiation is always a pain. I can rant for a while about the negotiations in regards to Pokemon markets and purchases. For example, I get all the time people want to buy a certain thing of items from me. I'll get the listings ready. They'll set a date, and then I never hear from them ever again. And sometimes it varies. Sometimes it's $1,000 purchases. Sometimes it's like $100 purchases. The ones who seem to never fail are the ones who do like $5 to $10 purchases. They like always show up no matter what, which is great. But at the same time, like I don't like getting out of bed for a $5 to $10 purchase. Now I try to line all those up. You know, I might have 10 people in one day want to buy $10 worth of cards each, and I just have them all meet me at the same time at the same location, and I have all of their orders ready, and then boom, 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 I knock out 10 sales of $10 cards, and you know it's $100 for me going on my, you know, to Walmart shopping spree anyways. I'll have to make all whole separate videos. No, I pretty much never edit. I pretty much don't know how. I'm not willing to take the time to do. Uh, I would love to probably get back into some discussions with Dave. He's really the only one I really kind of know, and it's been years. Um, I have to even see if Dave's even making. He did a lot better job than me at this. His thing was more appreciation for the art of the cards, which again I do appreciate. I think every last art is really cool, which is a whole other video I want to make, which I thought was so great that I didn't even think about till someone messaged me. And it was funny because I was thinking about it right as they messaged me about purchasing a card. I was thinking about how it's so neat how there's a separate illustrator for nearly every card, and it also made me think about all the other illustrations and artworks for cards that we've never seen that were probably scrapped by some sort of other artist. And I really kind of wonder the processes. If I could really probably get a hold of Pokemon, I would kind of like to know how they go about drafting the ideas for these artworks of each card. It's not really discussed. I've never really seen anyone discuss it. Because a lot of work goes into this, each one of these cards, and a lot of people don't appreciate it. Um, like honestly, there's a lot of thought put into every last set and design, and it's appreciated in terms of, oh, it's a pretty card, oh, I like this Pokemon, but I don't think it's ever appreciated the amount of work that goes into it. Yeah, sure, once it gets going, it just goes onto a printing press, but a lot of people had to come up with these scenes and designs and thoughts, and even also the physics and operational damage points and health for each Pokemon and card, and keeping it all balanced as it can for also the fact that it is a game, not just a collecting item. TCG doesn't stand for trading collecting game, it stands for trade carding. So yeah. I think I'll stop there for now. Again, please let me know what you want, even if it isn't exactly analytics on a certain set. But really, I feel that's where my talent lies. Ask for me about analytics. Ask for me about predictions. And you can even just kind of ring in. We'll do maybe like a Dave Ramsey thing, like, "Oh, hey, Flaming Chicken, this is the predicament I'm currently in. I've got 30 Charizards and 20 Blastoise. What do you think I should do going forward?" Da, 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 da. And we can go from there. I don't think I have live chat yet. I think I need 1,000 subs to have full live access, but I would love to have a live chat going because I could really stream all day long. Anything in regards to Pokemon analytics. So, if you watched all 30 minutes of my rant, good on you. Bye.